This is One Leeds. Welcome back to the latest video. This video, as always, is sponsored by Shop GNO, The Job Match Group, and Match Bingo. Let's get into it. First up, The Job Match Group. Whether you're looking for your next big gig or just browsing, The Job Match Group has niche job sites made just for you. F1, retail, security, and loads more. They're about matching the right person to the right job. Make sure you check them out if you're ready to level up your career. Then we've got Shop GNO, an exciting new e-commerce site where you can grab exclusive deals and discounts. Right now, One Leeds has an affiliate link just below where you can score a 25 quid membership for free, unlocking special rates and benefits. You can even list your own shop on there with way better rates than Amazon, eBay, and Vinted. They've got some Leeds bits and some general bits now and launching soon, plus some great prizes just for signing up. This is all powered by a massive Leeds United fan looking to make waves in the online shopping world. So check them out and support your local. And don't forget our mates at Match Bingo. They're smashing it with footy fun. You can get 5 bingo cards for the price of 4 through One Leeds, and you can even deposit just £5 at a time to join the action. It's a big chance to win whilst having a blast with your fellow Leeds United friends. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Check the links in the description, and let's get on with the video. Hello, everybody. My name is Conor McGilligan. This is One Leeds. And, of course, this is the Rumour Mill. What is going on in your world today? Let us know in the comment section below. You may notice a different background. Well, everybody, I saw the Leeds United video for the new kit, and by God, it took me back. It took me back to Besiktas. It took me back to Liverpool. It took me back to Manchester United at home. Marky Mark is back. The original Duke, Mark Viduka, my favorite ever player alongside Rafinha, was in the video, and it just got me excited. He owns a little cafe in Zagreb. I've sometimes thought about going out there and maybe having a little potter around. You know what I might do? That might be a One Leeds adventure. If someone can let me know where Mark Viduka's cafe is, we might have to make it a venture, everybody. It might just have to happen. I love this man. He was a lot of my childhood, so unbelievable to see him. Absolutely unbelievable to see him in the old video. I thought the video was excellent by Leeds United, by the way. I think the kit is superb. It is already ordered. It's already ordered and on the way, and hopefully we can shine in it in Dublin, which would be absolutely fantastic. And presumably the dirty side of Manchester are wearing their white kit. Well, not presumably for that, but they're wearing their white kit this weekend. So maybe Leeds will actually be wearing that blue kit as well. So that will be very exciting. It's a very much a hallmark throwback to Strongbow Leeds United 2002, 2003. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. So yeah, best kit in a while for me. Now listen, if my voice is very deep, if it's very hoarse, I apologize. Lots of gin and tonics and lots of Oasis and lots of screaming. Guys, if you can get there and if you care, not some of you don't even like the music, which is fair. If you can get to Oasis, just pay the money. Pay the money. Pay the money. It was great on the way out yesterday as well. I did not expect it, but shout out to Al, shout out to Joe, shout out to Steve, shout out to Mark, shout out to Corey, shout out to all of you who I met yesterday. Unbelievable seeing you all there at the Oasis. There was so many Leeds fans. It was bizarre. I think I'm there saw about 10 or 15. So it's great to meet all you guys. I did not expect that. So yeah, now good to see all of you in there, everybody. We've got some news for you today as well. What's the story? Morning glory. Great to see an Aussie legend as your background kind of mate, a Leeds United legend, in my opinion. Not, is he a legend? Yes, he is. He's one of my legends. The unveiling vid for the new away kit was a work of art, probably one of the best work we've ever done. Do you know what, mate? It very much fit in with the 2019-21, didn't it? Or the 2021 one. Do you remember we got the Game of Thrones guy on? That was unbelievable. Like, hello, Marcelo, all that sort of stuff. Looking good, Connor. Thank you so much, mate. It's nice for you to say so. Normally doesn't happen on here. My daily fix. Shout out to all of you. Hi now from Sydney. Hello, mate. How's it going? How nice is the kit, man? Unbelievable, buddy. Jem says, good morning, Connor. Did you watch did you and your good lady? Yeah, we did, mate. My brother came as well. It was biblical. I had to put on, the shorts. Of which, well, I came on here, right, and I'll be brutally honest with you. You know the jorts. Do you remember we had a little bit of a conversation about it, and I kind of like abused anyone who wears jorts? So yeah, I'm apparently now a jort wearer. So it was the jorts, it was the Greenstone Island sort of You can see it on One Leeds Instagram if you fancy going over there. And then just the Adidas Sambas, do you know what I mean, as the outfit. And it was, I actually thought I was one of the best dressed, just saying. But no, it was unbelievable, mate. Really, really good times. Thank you so much. Colin says, hi, Connor, first time live. Keep up the good work. Shout out to you, Cole. Top man. Thank you so much, mate. Viduka was my favorite period during that, player during that period. Did you do the Poznan, Connor? That's my question. I did for a bit, but it's only because he said F, you know who, when it comes to a club. And they're all like, United, United, United. So, like, yeah, of course I joined in. Anything to just give it to them, lot, always, mate. So, yeah. So let's have a look. Just need to believe in the 49ers business acumen. Sounds is golden, but frustrating for content creators. Do you know what, mate? It's not frustrating for me. I think on the channel, we're not, when we come here in here as well, I want to add the old discourse, debate, and discussion. With you guys, it's just more of a chat every morning. You all know, or the regulars anyway, new people come to the channel, that you're not going to come on here and I'm not going to have some breaking news. So there's been no news on the channel before, and at 10 o'clock in the morning, there's been 1.8k people in the chat. So, you know what I mean? Yesterday's video got 2k likes, which was unbelievable. Thank you to all of you. Please make sure you slap the likes on, everybody. It just helps my algorithm. But I think people just enjoy coming in and having a chat, which is great as well. Fair play for doing this after Oasis. I was still tucked it, mate. I shouldn't be doing this. Trust me, I shouldn't be doing this. This is going to be. I'm trying to be as energetic as I can, but I am at like 10 out of 10 now in terms of energy. So yeah. So bear with me. Bear with me. Uh, so thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Hi, Connor, from a ferry to Helsinki. Can barely hear with the music. What music is it, Louis? Good to see you there, mate. You're not wear a bucket hat with the jorts, hiding the back. No, mate. When you got it, you got to flaunt it. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Anyway, we've got 1,000 of you already in the building. Shout out to every single one of you. So let's start off with this, shall we? Anton Stach. This made me very happy this morning. Leeds United, Sky Sports, Germany reporting officially this morning that Leeds United have an agreement in principle. So not just agreement when it comes to the player, but Leeds United actually have an agreement in principle when it comes to Hoffenheim. Now, the issues overnight when it came to this deal with Stuttgart. Stuttgart are highly interested in Anton Stach. They want to acquire his services. The stickling point with Stuttgart is going to be that fee, the fee of 20 plus million euros, which effectively is going to be in around 20 million quid or just above 20 million quid when it comes to add-ons. So I think this is a really good deal for Leeds United. I think this is a needle mover. I think this is one of which I kind of look at and think, yes, Leeds United, these are ceiling raisers. These are more than that as well. You know, you kind of look at Ethan and you look at Tanaka, but specifically when you look at Ethan, there's a genuine conversation of the captain being displaced in a 4-2-3-1 system, depending on what Mr. Farker wants to do with this lineup. That's how good this guy is. So Ampadu being displaced, as you guys know, I don't want to happen. I think stylistically for certain games, Ampadu is perfect, and I think he is a Premier League caliber player. That's just my opinion. But with how good Stach is as a number 6, it's good. I like there is a chance that our captain could be displaced if Farker wants to go with a more technical number, sort of 8 in Al Tanaka, or if he wants to go to a box-to-box number 8 in Longstaff and just have a little bit of a cover and goer, balancing that double pivot, you know, and us go out and get a number 10 anyway. So that's how good this guy is. This guy, I think Anton Stach overall, we've mentioned it on here for probably around about 2 months now, but the jewels when it comes to not only the duels, but his perception, his blocks, his interceptions, his ball distribution, his ball carrying. He's absolutely unequivocally one of the signings of the summer if Leeds United are able to get it done. Now, someone said to me recently, Conor, what about his goals and what about his assists? Well, that's not the type of midfielder it is. I don't judge Ethan Ampadu. I don't judge Eli Gruev on goals. It just doesn't happen and assists unless you're like a deep line playmaker like Calvin was, which it was just his quarterback role to get the ball just in front of the defense and start, you know, pinging it left and right. That is not Anton Stach's bag. Stach can do that. But what I'm a huge fan of with him is just his calmness, his composure, his authority. He's 6'4" as well. He fits the mold when it comes to profile. We mentioned earlier on that I thought this would be difficult to get done. Me and Gabe did like a combined 11, and I don't think I put Stach in. I put Tanaka in and I put Ampadu in because I thought it'd be too heavy. I thought there'd be too many clubs. Man United have been in for him. Genuinely, everybody. Man United have been in for this guy for probably around about 18 months. The interest has become real with them and him around about 3 months when they inquired about him. Tottenham inquired about him in January. That's the kind of caliber we're talking about right now. So I always thought there was maybe an opportunity at Bayern Munich for him, but then Bayern Munich have got a lot of very similar profiles in that double pivot, and there's probably an argument right now that Goretzka is a better player, or is a better fit at least at Bayern. So yeah, a lot to discuss here. A lot to discuss in terms of the quality of player we're getting. In terms of us versus Stuttgart, um, maybe you're kind of looking at Leeds and thinking we are the bigger profile. Maybe you're looking at Leeds right now in comparison to Stuttgart. There's a conversation with us, maybe Frankfurt, Leverkusen, Dortmund, Munich. I understand that. But us and Stuttgart, it feels Leeds would have a pull there. The Premier League is a pull. And according to a few reports, especially out in Germany this morning, Stuttgart may struggle to big up the funds, and that's what they want when it comes to obviously that full package. He is their prized asset. He's the biggest valuation player that they have. So they're going to want to get the money for Anton Stach, and I completely understand that we want to do the same. So so yeah, all good news. All good news. Stack sounds like the new Mark Rocker. Right, okay. Let's have a look at some of the comments as well. Carl says, "I hope you get 50,000 before the season starts." Thanks so much, mate. Yeah, we have hit 46,000. I think. Are we on 46,000? Let me just have a quick look. 46. I think we're on 46. No, I'm on the wrong one. Yes, we're on 46. I think 46.1. So shout out to all of you for subscribing. It's been a really good summer period. It's been an unbelievable 2026, guys. I'll be brutally honest with you. Like, we're knocking out the park like 900,000 views a month on average, which is way above what One Leeds has ever done. So thank you so much to all of you. Carl in particular, Helen, who's now been a member for 18 months. Shout out to you, Helen, nearly 2 years. Thank you so much. And big up to you, Carl, as always, mate. I always see you in here. So yeah, Nicholas says, "Come on and Connor, smash like for the best show on the net, lead show on the net." Thanks, mate, and lots of really, really lovely comments in here this morning. Thanks so much. And Kirsch, you bang on there, mate. Really positive week so far. Players link last night shows real ambition. I think this is what I was saying, everyone, when it comes to let's talk about them again. Sunderland. I know, I get it, but the comparatives of like, Xhaka and Lukumi and other rumours that we've seen when it comes to obviously Diarra and Siddiqui and all this sort of stuff when it comes to Sunderland, of which it's felt like the one Sunderland channel as well, not just the one Leeds channel. But what we do have to look at is we kind of use them as an example in a positive way, in a logical way as well. A lot can happen in a week. A hell of a lot can happen in a week. And at the beginning of the week and at the beginning of this sort of like, I'd say maybe 10-day spell, we were saying on the room mill, you can go back and have a look, that this has to be a period of time where Leeds United go out and bring in maybe a couple of good additions and a marquee signing. Now we've sort of agreed in principle. Anton Stach. We'll get into the other news in just a little bit, but that is your marquee signing. Longstaff coming in, completing his medical, is kind of that signing you want to big up the depth, and you want to big up the styles when it comes to the midfield and what we're able to do now with that variation in that double pivot and potentially even the number 8 spot if Leeds want to like eradicate that number 10. That's the beauty of it right now, and a week is a long time in football. It's a hell of a long time in football. There could be an argument that by next week, and yes, it'll probably go beyond the Man United game, but next week, and crucially before the start of the season and with weeks to go until the start of the season, Leeds United could have 3, potentially 4 players in, of which you're looking at and going, wow, a week ago we were panicking. And didn't I tell you as well, everybody, didn't we all discuss on the room mill that Longstaff coming in and Stack almost confirmation is going to change so much in terms of people's mentality going into this season. New kit launch has gone very well. It's all these little things, these incremental things of which when the club move on, it immediately the fan base are a bit like, oh, okay, oh, that's put me in a better mood. And I get it, people have rough weeks, people have a life when it comes to Leeds United, but my life is Leeds United when it comes to my business and stuff, and it dictates my mood a lot. It doesn't dictate my mood as much as it once did, but it does dictate my mood. But that's just maturity, I think. But overall, it does make or break it when it comes down to certain things coming out from the club, certain things coming out from other outlets, because we all want to see Leeds stay in the Premier League and book the trend, don't we? So loads to discuss when it comes to that. So yeah, really happy with it when it comes to Anton Stach. Do I think he's a needle mover? Yes, 100%. Absolutely. And I'm really happy, I have to say again, with that midfield composition of Stach, of Longstaff, of Ampadu and Tanaka. I think it gives you a complete variation in how you want to play. I think it means that you can go against the top 6 in a certain way. I think you want to go physically, you can do that now. You want to go a bit more dynamically and pressy, you can do that now as well. If you even want to go in there and give it a go at home, if we need to win, and you can put like a technical player or one of our more technical players, i.e. Al Tanaka in there, and you can go to a almost box-to-box disruptor in Longstaff in there, or Stack can just shield that defense. There's so many variations that you can do against the top 6. the mid-bracket teams and against the relegation sides. Now we've got these four profiles in, of which all of them are quite different. Longstaff's very different to Stach. Stach and Ampadu are probably the most similar, but they are very different. You look at the stature in particular, and then obviously you've got then you've obviously got, oh, hold on, we've got Stach, we've got Longstaff, we've got Tanaka, Stach, Tanaka, Ampadu, Tanaka, Stach, Longstaff. That's the one. So all very different. All very different. So that's good stuff. Okay, Jay's in the building. Hi, Jay. Having Stach, Ampadu, Tanaka, and Longstaff gives us the profiles to change up the midfield. Good minds, mate. And style of play dependent on who we are thinking. Great bit of business if we get it done. Pete says, will we see Longstaff in a Leeds shirt today? Potentially, mate. Thank you for all the support as well, everyone. Stach for facing the big six. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, yeah, big six. I'd probably go Ampadu and Stach. Ampadu and Stach, and then you potentially can go to a flat midfield and bring Longstaff into at the peak of that, and then you've got some real some real physical bodies in that midfield there that you can go to a flat three, and then when you're in possession, you can go to a little bit of a diamond in terms of like a half diamond, a triangle. I'm so sorry. But basically what I'm trying to say is like double pivot and then Longstaff just ahead. So like a variation in a three in midfield and more attacking midfield, a half a diamond. Someone give me a pillow. Grave, not for you, Connor. It's not just that. I just don't think he'll be there, mate. I just don't think he'll be there. So yeah, it's nothing on the person. Frank says, keep up your good work, Connor. Onward and upward, of course, mate. Thanks so much, pal. Okay, let's get on to the next rumour, shall we? Okay, when this works. Let's get on to the next rumour. Okay, we'll get onto that in just a second. So let me just paint a little bit of a picture for you. Call me Vincent van Gogh. I'm at the Oasis concert last night and my phone pings a couple of times because you lot like to message me a lot about things. And Igor Piao bombs up. And were we just speaking about this guy yesterday? I'm sure we were. And we were saying, look, Atalanta, Roma, but he's out. Injury wise, he's out. They reckon it's more weeks than Feyenoord expected. 4 to 6 weeks. Now, I don't think it's as bad as people think. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, which is good news. I don't think it's as bad as people think, his injury. And out of nowhere, Randy Orton settings, if you like your WWE, apologies for that reference if you don't. Graham Smith drops a Graham bomber. He says Leeds United have been talking to Igor Piao's representatives all week and for a while now. Marseille are struggling at this moment in time, of which we thought it was pretty much affirmative that he was going there. Marseille are really struggling to stump up that 30 million euro fee that Feyenoord want and believe he's worth, which I would probably agree with when you look at his level. Now, this would be, I think, even if you brought in Muniz, depending on whatever value Muniz would be, which I think Leeds will get done, I think Muniz will happen. I think Igor Piao is the signing of the window by a mile. This guy has absolutely everything that we need right now. This will be a statement. If you remember the clubs that were interested, and these clubs will have been interested, everybody, they will have been interested. They will have inquired. They will have, spoke to Feyenoord and say, look, what are you thinking? It could be top clubs, and that's a part of the inquiry. It's what's the valuation? What are you saying with him? Oh yeah, we're going to 30 million, and top clubs can look at him, but top clubs might think they can look elsewhere. Tottenham could have been looking at him and thought, we're going to put a bit more money into Kudus. You might have Man United looking at him, of which apparently was heavy earlier on in the window and last window as well, and obviously they're having a few monetary problems right now. So that will have been a reason, but lots of clubs have inquired. Now, Arsenal, very, very early on, sort of blew Leeds out the water with it, didn't they? They were apparently front runners for Igor Piao, and it was also, no, it was publications in and around us, wasn't it? I think Ornstein muttered it as well. Arsenal like him, yada, yada, yada. That's gone very quiet. And all of a sudden, Graham drops the bomber that Leeds United, bomber is bomb, by the way, that Leeds United are the club, and are one of the clubs at least, and they probably face stiff competition still, of going in for Igor Piao. Now, is he worth the money? Yeah. Is he worth the injury? Yeah. Does it depend on like how long he's out? Yeah, I mean, if you tell me he's out for 3 months, then I'm like, But do I think like Ramazani could fill in or Nonso could fill in on that left hand side? Yeah, and a lot of teams don't have that. A lot of teams don't have the capability to fill in the likes of Nonso and largely Ramazani. As Paixao gets back to full fitness, and if you remember, everybody, I think it was around about a month, 4 to 6 weeks before we saw Rafinha. And I don't know if that was due to an injury, but it was 4 to 6 weeks before we saw Rafinha. I mean, I remember first seeing Rafinha at Aston Villa away, played like a midfield splitting ball. Rafinha number 18 on the back, that purple shirt. And then you thought, my God, he's got that in his locker with a 50-yard midfield splitting ball. Like, who is this guy? So I don't think it would be all bad. I really don't. So at least didn't really have the players in the round at that point. I guess when you're looking at Jack Harrison and Helder Costa, but when you kind of look at our midfield, our winger options right now in Dan James, in Ladji Ramazani, and Willie Gnonto, I think it's a different level. So this would be very exciting. This would be case in point of Leeds United getting the transfer window absolutely spot on. Now, it feels like this pawn is going to drop as well. It feels like this domino is going to fall. And this is exciting. And why am I confident with this? It feels like this with Leeds has been the ongoing thing. It feels like the club has probably been a bit frustrated by this getting out because it's a bit of a niche link, similar with Stach. But this is going to happen. The club are a bit naive if they don't think that's going to happen. But Paixao is an outstanding footballer. An outstanding footballer. And I think when you kind of looking at the four and you look at Biol, I think for me anyway, Biol, and we're looking at the spine, Stach, Paixao and Muniz, they are for where we are and what we need and just the level of Leeds United and in terms of what we can do this season and potentially staying up. That is outstanding recruitment for a newly promoted side. So yeah, if they're able to get that done, they're able to double barrel it with Stack, and then they're able to triple threat it with Muniz. Some nice two Brazilians up top as well. You could go to a front two, in my opinion, as well, with Paixao just in and behind on that left hand side with Muniz up top of the ball hit to Muniz. Leeds transitioning with Paixao, with James, with Nonto off the bench, with Ramazani off the bench, someone in that number 10 as well. If Leeds are still going to go for that number 10, I think the beautiful thing about Paixao is he can play cam, he can play on that right hand side, he can play on the left hand side. Leeds might be thinking to themselves, well, we've sewn up that. Now, it is square pegs round holes a little bit with Paixao because we all want him off that left. And Connor, what happens to Nonso and what happens to Ramazani? Well, this is competition now. It is if they get him through the door, it is mad competition, huge competition when it comes to just the class of the guy. Because you look at his record there, everybody. You look at him being the main outlet, and it does remind you of a certain somebody that joined Leeds not long ago. But yes, this one looks like a bit of a needle mover. It follows a very similar bracket, in my opinion, to Rafinha, your Sinistera, and your Paixao in terms of marquee signings, winger marquee signings, and it would be an exceptional signing for me. So let us know what you think in the comment section below with regards to Paixao. Kim with a 50 DKK donation. Thank you so much, buddy. I can't see us going down this season with a solid backline and a strong midfield. Hope for Paixao Muniz now. Great show, Connor. Thank you so much, Kim. As always, my man. Really appreciate your support. See you in here every morning. So let's have a look at maybe a little bit of a custom lineup. Now, this is just based as well on some of the rumors that we had yesterday. So like San Lamens in there, who we spoke about yesterday, the Antwerp goalkeeper, who's got an excellent save percentage, looks really good in terms of distribution, and somebody who looks like he's on his way out, and Leeds were linked, but Mark Overmars, sporting director, has said that he'll be leaving Antwerp. Exciting stuff. So you kind of look at this right now, and you look at once again, using that word, the combinations and the composition of this team. So the back line looks strong. It looks like it's got options as well. I've got a feeling, I don't know why, I've got a feeling something might happen with Straug. Something might happen with Straug in terms of maybe him leaving the club. I hope he doesn't, because I think he's a really good left option. I think in a back three as well, it's an exception. If Leeds go to a 3-4-3, Paixao works perfectly. In fact, should we get into a 4-3-3? Let's go into in fact, no, because this is realistic with Farke. So Bogle in there, Jacobi all rode on. I think he's going to be our partnership. So I don't think Leeds are going to be trying to be too extravagant in terms of passing out from the back. So I think that's going to happen. And I think Jacobiol is good enough at distributing out from the back. I think Joe Rodon's development last season in terms of passing out from the back has been unequivocally important in terms of just almost putting that focus on him from a Daniel Farke perspective of when Leeds are playing out from the back. Don't focus on Ethan Ampadu. Don't give the ball to Ethan Ampadu. Give the ball to a developing Joe Rodon and let's see another level to his game. I thought the season before last, his distribution out from the back was poor. I thought when he was put under pressure, he was poor at delivering out from the back vertically. Now, I think he's miles better at it. And I think that's because there was a big onus put out on him distributing out from the back. Gabby Goodmanson, happy with that. But I think a lot of the games stylistically are going to be a little bit like this in the midfield. I think you're going to have Ethan. I think you're going to have Sean Longstaff at points. And I think you are going to have Anton Stach if we do get him. So I think the base of the midfield is going to look like that. And that's kind of your back six. Now, Ethan's got to be clever when Jaden goes forward because he's going to have to cover, as is Joe when he comes across. Anton Stach's going to have to be extremely clever as well when Gabby Goodmanson gets forward, but he won't be getting forward as much as Bogle. I think we're going to try build up if we do build up on that right hand side. But then we might not build up on that right hand side because if someone like Lemens is able to get rid of the ball into the central midfield spot and Igor Piao gets hold of the ball and is able to just kill the ball on his first touch, like we used to see with Rafa and Sinistera, Leeds could build up on a left hand side of a midfield bracket if Paixao is drifting backwards through him, which is exciting. Rodrigo Muniz, look, you've always known he's been my number one from day one. I think I don't need to go over it again, but Muniz for me is everything we need right now. But I've mentioned this before that if we did go to a 4-3-3, this is kind of what we could look at as well. And this is kind of what visually I've tried to get over here when it comes to because I think we get off Stack. I'm gonna have Ethan in the middle and Stack on that other side. So, and then what we'll do is we will put Rodrigo Muniz up top and we'll put Ethan in the middle there. So this is kind of what I was looking at as well when it comes to a 4-3-3. So this will get the best out of Longstaff, and this could be Leeds out of possession as well, and in possession to be fair. But this is kind of the bank that I'm looking at against potentially the mid-bracket teams as well. If Leeds do go to a three in the midfield, it's going to massively aid Sean Longstaff's box-to-box movement on that right-hand side. Stack and Ampadu could almost just drop into like a pivot with Longstaff at the tip, of which we spoke about in that 4-2-3-1 as well. It could work in that way. But the dynamism, I think, of Stack as well, which I think is massively underrated. I think he could be a real press merchant in there. Same with Longstaff. And I just love that transition. I absolutely love that transition. I think that transition with James and Rodrigo Muniz and Igor Piao encompasses pace. It encompasses football IQ. I think James has developed. I don't think he's got as much football IQ and decision-making capability like Nonto, but the beauty about Dan James is just his raw pace, and he's effective with that pace as well. And I think on a transition when Leeds are sitting in deep into a low mid block, I think that ball over the top from a Stack or an Ampadu, or potentially even like a Longstaff or definitely a Beal, who does like those crossfield balls, is going to be absolutely unequivocally important with Dan James on that right-hand side. So Rodrigo Muniz keeping the ball, holding the ball as well. Leeds could be looking at a very good team here. And you've got to look at the depth as well. I do think we'll get a keeper, whether or not it's Lamens, whether or not it's Nick Pope, which the dominoes could fall with that hopefully soon. A lot happens in a week in football. Whether or not it's Lucas Pelli, I don't think that will happen. But still, it could happen as well. It leads one of Dominic Livakovic. So there's lots of options there for Leeds United, but I'm definitely feeling way more positive now. The midfield is a very important position for Leeds United. That is sorted. But the critical position now, for me, I do think it now becomes critical on that left-hand side with Igor Piao because he's just so good. So it's critical we get him in now. It'd be so disappointing to miss out on him. And the options, the variations, the Swiss Army knife that Leeds United now are if Igor's to come in. But then as well, the most important position is at the bottom and the top. It's Lamens and it's Rodrigo Muniz. They're the most important positions right now for Leeds United to get right and get solid. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comment section below as well there, everybody, with regards to that. Let's have a look what you guys are saying. Jay says, great stream as always, pal. Keep up the good work. Another member for 18 months. Thank you so much there, Jay. See you in here all the time as well, bud. Really appreciate your constant support, man. Morning, Connor. Slap a like, guys. Hello, Yorkshire Pud. How's it going? Let's have a look at how many people are in the building, guys. We've got 1,500 of you in here this morning. Thank you to each and every single one of you. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're all doing well this morning. It's fine. Is it rainy? Probably is. It's England. It will be raining. But I'm just going to take a little bit of a pit stop here, a little bit of a marinating session. If you guys want to just get your comments in the section. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's see what you're all saying. Dee 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 dee, living about my brain. Good morning from Lesvos, Levos Mytilene. Was that right, mate? In Greece. Can't wait for the Everton game here. Met a Greek fella yesterday wearing an old Leeds training top. Great stuff, mate. Connor, Leeds should play Ramazani instead of James. Lee, we normally agree, don't we, mate, with a lot of stuff. I guess the issue would be on that right hand side, mate. Look, I love him, mate. I absolutely love Ramazani. I think his level is probably it's above James's in my opinion. It's his ceiling is above Nonto as well for me. I think ceiling, that key word there, people. Ceiling, upward trajectory, potential. I know some of you fall off there and you don't agree with me. That's absolutely fine. But that's how I feel with him. I think if if he's able to come in and make an impact this season, he'll be an absolutely let's be honest. This is a guy who scored against Real Madrid. This is a guy who had plenty of exceptional games in La Liga. This is a player who we bought as Somerville's replacement. So this is kind of what you got in your locker right now. So Uche Soon, do you think we are less likely to get Muniz if we get him because of the cost outlay? I don't know, mate. I'm 100%, what I'm not sure on with this is if Leeds are able to move things around at the minute. We've spoken about Strauch earlier. He just seems the one who's not vulnerable at the minute, but with Bornau in there in particular, Bornau Leeds might think Bornau, Beal, Bornau, Beal, Rodon, Bornau, Beal, Rodon. It's just three, isn't it? So yeah, three in there. They might think they're all right with that. They might think we're all right with that, and they might look at Strauch and think there is profit there to be had, which we all know there is. We all know there is. So mm, it's interesting. It is interesting, but I don't know what's gonna. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know what's gonna happen when it comes to that. To be honest with you. Okay, Connor, if you couldn't get someone like Muniz, who would you go and get? I don't know how realistic it is, but maybe Soloth potentially, Alexander Soloth. Who knows? But yeah, that would be a tough ask. But he's a similar profile. If you kind of want to know the profile of Muniz, it's someone like Soloth, I think. Naviv says, "Hi Naviv, good evening from India. How's it going? Watching from Greece. Love the daily content. Great stuff. There's a lot of Greek watchers in here, mate. Connor, mate, cheap flights from Manchester Stansted or Birmingham with Jet to beautiful island." And the bar we go to is owned by two lesbian Leeds fans from Leeds. Oh, great stuff, man! Great stuff. Good. I'm happy you're having a good time out there, mate. That's nice to hear. Let's have a quick look at something else as well, everybody. So, yeah, Mateo Joseph. There's a bit of conversation about him going out on loan this morning. I've not really kept up on it too much when it's come to him, but I know he's in a bit of an exit war right now when it comes to Leeds United and a potential loan to Betis. Now, I don't really understand why we do this, if I'm brutally honest with you. I don't know what impact that would have on PSR. I don't really understand why we do it. But what I have said to you guys plenty of times is when it comes to a loan, it could be beneficial for Leeds United if he's to come back, if he's to be on the next level when it comes to him going out to Betis and scoring loads of goals. That I wouldn't mind. So we've spoken about this multiple times before when it comes, could there be a loan with an option, not as an obligation, an option from Real Betis? And it saves them financially again. I'm a bit sick of dealing with Betis because it just feels like the whole summer they've kind of been like, we can't really afford it, so can you help us out? And it's always felt like that with them, all the way back to Mark Rocker, the god, the legend. Joking, but yeah, no. So I don't know. Maybe a loan would work for Leeds because worst case scenario, and we're in the Championship, or best case scenario, he's gone out. He's had a brilliant season. Leeds want to integrate him again. Fantastic. We can do that, or Leeds can sell him on. But that's kind of where I'm at with Joseph. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see with his development as well, Joseph, because I'm a big Joseph stan, but I don't know. Loan only, Joseph is washed. Okay, fair enough. Harsh, but okay. What team is better, 22-23 or this team? Probably this team, I'd say. Probably this team. Remy says James, Ramazani, and Willie will all come down to consistency. Whoever stays consistent in the required will keep the shirt. Connor, for PSR, do you think they could sell on Au instead of Pascal? No, Jim. I did mention that at the start, and that could be, but you're not hearing a lot of rumors. I think Pascal's the most vulnerable, and then probably Nonto. But I think Pascal's the most vulnerable. It'll be interesting to see if we did do Paixao, then what would happen? But yeah, Luke said sell Strauch and get Tanganga. Different sort of players, mate, but Tanganga, I never see as a bad shout, mate. Never see as a bad shout. I guess the thing is with Joseph is if we do go down or whatever, where is he going to fit in? But you kind of look at it, don't you? And you think if a player comes back, if he goes to if he goes to La Liga, scores in Europe, gets better for Spain, scores 10 to 15 goals over there. He's starting every week for Betis, and we get him back, and then he's then with us either in the Championship or in the Premier League, and he develops and he's 22. Then and you kind of looking at it and going, oh, okay, we've got a player there, an absolute player there. So loan does make sense in a strange sort of way, I guess. Easy T says, Connor, do you think Joseph is more suited for facing Premier League teams rather than lower opposition, judging it from his appearance in Cup against Chelsea? I've always mentioned, Easy, that I don't think football's linear. I don't think football's linear. You know, I've always said this, and I think Bamford's mentioned this as well. Like, he feels his style is acclimatized a little bit more to the Premier League. You know, you can catch that interview. It's it's out there. And it was interesting with Bamford, especially in that season where he scored 17, because his positional awareness was so much better than it was in the Championship. His confidence was so much higher as well, even at the very beginning. He'd take more shots, Bamford, continuously in the Premier League. He'd take more shots. And it always felt that he was second guessing himself. And his instinct was much better in the Premier League as well that season. Season before, he scored 15. Then he got to the Premier, scored 17. So probably the best consistency in his career. But the season before, he'd missed so many gilt-edged chances. You know, we created so much under Bielsa in that season beforehand. But when we got up to the Premier League, he was lethal. So football, I don't think it's linear. I think William Gnonto is one of those examples as well. I think in the Premier League, Gnonto will acclimatise. I think he did acclimatise before. I think he was our star when he was, 18? And he was our X factor. People seem to forget that or have selective memory. I don't know why. The Man United goal sticking out in terms of just raw quality, and how Leeds would go through Willie Gnonto and he'd be man marked out of games by 2, 3 Premier League players at some point. It wasn't Somerville, it was Gnonto. So football's not linear, in my opinion. So I guess the issue with Joseph right now will be that development. I spoke about this with Ramazani, but we look at Joe Rodon as an example. What have I just spoke about before when it comes to Joe? I've spoken about the season that he had last season. And the beauty about last season was that Joe was able to really start building, developing his passing out from the back. His vertical passing was much better. His mid to long term range passing in terms of accuracy into that front roll was really, really decent. Now, the season before, I was heavily critical of Joe being put under pressure and not being able to pass out progressively from the back. It would be sort of side to side. It would be back to the goalkeeper. If he was under a press, he'd normally go to a closed body approach and pass it back to the goalkeeper. Now, he's developed last season massively in the Championship. I think Junior Firpo developed massively in the Championship. Context applied is the Championship of spatial awareness. I think that developed hugely. I think Dan James developed massively when it came to his decision making. I think there's sometimes in the Premier League where he'd do this thing where he'd just chop it back onto his left foot and shoot. And that would be it. There wouldn't be any balance in his body shape when he was about to take a shot. It would just almost be last resort. And he still does that. But I think the efficiency in how he does it, the timing in when he does it is much better. There's a variation in Dan James's play, which has come with maturity, but it's come with a variety in his play, and that's stemmed by confidence. It's stemmed as well by having the ability to do that in the Championship, and trial and error sort of thing. But now he's honed that side of his game, in my opinion. I don't think there's been a mass development from Dan James, but I think his decision making's got better. I think Junior Firpo's spatial awareness got a lot better. I think Joe Rodon's passing out from the back got a lot better. Now, what are the common themes with all of these? It's been given a chance, okay? Been given a chance to really develop and progress. So football at any age. So I think the issue with Joseph right now is I think he's got a lot of the package when it comes to being able to fit into the Premier League. We're speaking about Rodrigo Muniz. We're speaking about hold up play. I think Joseph at 21 has the ability and has got much physically stronger this season. I think when you look at his stature as well, there is a player in there. I think when we look at preseason, we cannot ignore that. The caliber of teams we were coming up against last preseason, and he was excellent. And it just didn't quite transition into the start of the season. But in his first 8 games and in Peru's first 8 games, he had the exact same amount of goal contributions. So I think it's all about, and we've mentioned this with Ramazani, it's all been about given that time to develop. And I understand there's pressure. There's pressure on time, isn't there? Because we need to get results. But I think with Mateo Joseph, it will come good. I think it will come good. That is just my personal perspective on how I read football. I look at him and I think there's a lot there which we can work with. So I think him going out on loan, I think him developing that key word, which we've said about some of our senior players this season, him coming back, fitting into a Leeds United side is going to be absolutely key. And yeah, as I say, I was very similar with Rutter. I was very similar with Rutter as well. There was a player in there, and when he was getting battered by our fan base, another fan base, not good enough. He's crap. He's this, that, and the other. I didn't ever think that. I thought, you give him that development. And he got that in the championship, and he was quite lucky. And then you saw the level of him. I think Joseph has got something similar, of which he'll show that level, in my opinion. Okay, let's see what's saying. People keep saying Stach is in, but he's not in yet, mate. A deal is agreed. Let's get the I'll get the latest up when it's got. If you guys just want to have a quick look, Anton Stach. I know some of you like seeing the official. Where is it? Anton Stach, Germany. There we go. So 4 hours ago. This is maybe later go away, the BBC. Yeah, so there we go. This might help you. I know some of you guys like the old visual. Do you like the BBC? Let me know. Quite controversial. Let's have a quick look. And I'm going to get the shirt up as well in here in a sec, everybody. So this was by Sky Germany around about 4 hours ago now. Okay. So when it comes to start, Leeds have reached an agreement in principle for Hoffenheim and Germany midfielder Anton Stach. So there you go. That's what a lot of people are talking about this morning. So yeah, agreement in principle feels like everything's done from the side of Leeds and Hoffenheim, and also Leeds have got an agreement with the player. So it's probably just the smaller details now that I've been looking through. Okay, I wanted to have a quick look at the shirt as well, obviously. And I wanted to get your guys' opinions on this. It's very exciting, isn't it? Very exciting. Okay. So, and you have to let me know what you think, everybody. Have you bought it yet? Have you not bought it yet? What have you done? Hold on. There we go. Okay, so this is Leeds United's new shirt, the absolute throwback. Absolute throwback to the Strongbow days. A lot of people were saying it's like down to the. Do you remember the Snodgrass days in? I think it was League One of the Championship. It was a lovely kit that, but this is just. I mean, everything about it. The sleeves, the white trim on the sleeves, fantastic. It's great, isn't it? It's really good. I absolutely love how the Red Bull, and we all know it, but it fits. Like if that shirt had Red Bull red on it, it just wouldn't go, would it? It wouldn't flow as a shirt. The colors wouldn't combine. Yellow and blue and white do not go with red in more ways than one. But yeah, I just think I think it's a lovely shirt. I think the trim on it is nice on the sleeves. I think they've got it absolutely spot on when it comes to the Adidas logo. To be fair, the only thing that I would say is, the Adidas logo. So, the old school Adidas logo, I'd have preferred that. That's the only thing. But everything else on it is spot on. It's absolutely spot on. And it is very similar to not very similar, but do you remember the blue kit we had? Was it last season or the season before? Excellent. Amazing kit. Lovely kit. So, yeah, I'm a massive fan of it, everyone. Massive fan of it. It's a really decent addition for Leeds United. It sounds like a player signing. Don't get paid till tomorrow. Yeah, mate. Just straight in the overdraft. Just brought me and my nephew. Shout out to you, Vicky. Good to hear that. Heard medical coming in the next 36 hours. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Morning, everyone. Hi, Vicky. How's it going? Good to see you in here. Click the link. It doesn't say agreed. No, it just literally says there's a principal agreement now. Principal agreement. So is Uche a 10 or a striker? Can play in both, mate, but normally a number 10. I'd say probably just a bit of a shadow striker as well. If I'm to put him anywhere, it's not as an out and out number 9. It is a 10 and just almost, so probably a bit of a 9.5 that you see a lot of the time when it comes to Joel Peru. That is his best position. So that's kind of why I prefer him anyway, Uche, but it looks decent, mate. $200 in Australia. I feel sorry for you guys. I feel really sorry for you guys. Bought it straight away, same as last year. Thank Lord for the PayPal in 3. Yeah, mate, Klarna. Klarna's the best one, isn't it? Shout out to you, Rye. Good to see you in here as well, pal. How's it going, mate? Guys, we have 1,531 of you in the building. Do us a favor, everybody. Slap a like on the video. Do us a solid. Get your comments in the section below as well. Do me an even bigger solid, everybody. Check out our sponsor, Shop GNO, the best e-commerce site on the net, ran by a Leeds United fan. 5% cheaper rates than Amazon, Vinted, and eBay. Shout out to the Pet Care Factory who've listed their shop on there. The owner has listed his shop on there because obviously it's ran by a Leeds fan. He likes that, but also he's getting sick of being ripped off when it comes to rates on eBay, Vinted, and Amazon. You can make money on there, everybody, as well. So when it comes to listing your shop, but you can buy things on there with my membership as well, which you can get your own personal membership, which is worth 25 quid. Link in the description below, everybody. My affiliate link. Make sure you do that. You get it for absolutely free with one Leads, gifts, rewards, benefits throughout the season as well. We've got some big things coming, so check them out. Match bingo as well. Make sure you check the lads out there. 5 cards for the price of 4. Also, £5 deposit, you get 10 absolutely free. Safe betting, everybody, of course. Okay, morning, Connor from Ledbury. How you, mate? How's it going? Any news on Ryan Kent? None yet, mate. None yet. None yet. Okay, well, I don't know if we've stretched this out, but we've gone 46 minutes with 3 bits of news. Guys, I'm going to probably lie down for a bit. I think I need to lie down. Watching all the way from Indianapolis, USA. Shout out to you, Carson Riddle. Carson Riddle is probably the best name we've heard so far. Sorry, Bowen. Sorry, others. But guys, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. It is an absolute pleasure. An absolute pleasure, as always, delivering you guys the news, having the old DDD discourse, debate, and discussion. Thoroughly enjoyed it again this morning. If there is breaking news, I'm always here. We will be streaming throughout the day, or we will have the little walk-alongs. Thank you for your support of the last couple of days. I think the last 2 days with like something like 67,000 views. You're all mad, but thank you so much. Really appreciate it. The engagement is huge as well. I think there's one in two of you now watching every single video, which for engagement rate on a channel like mine is mad. So thank you so much, everybody. My name is Conor McGilligan. This has been One